Hello everyone and welcome to today's session on Salesforce admin interview questions. Do you know friends that in today's scenario the importance of Salesforce certification has increased by tenfold. A lot of people have bagged a good paying job after completing the Salesforce certification program. Salesforce is one of the most popular and widely used CRM platform with over 150,000 organizations using it to fuel their growth around the world. Salesforce services and products are used by small businesses and internet powerhouses like Google and Facebook to solve business challenges. For the same, we are going to discuss the Salesforce admin interview questions. But before that, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon.
So let's start with Salesforce admin interview questions. And our first question is, what is Salesforce? The answer to the same question is, Salesforce is a company that makes cloud-based software designed to help businesses find more prospects, close more deals, and wow customers with amazing service. I hope so you got an answer for this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is CRM? CRM means Customer Relationship Management. CRM is an application used to automate sales and marketing functions by using a software called CRM software. That forms a perfect answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, which architecture does Salesforce depends upon? This is also one of the most important questions. Now, the perfect answer to this question is that Salesforce architecture is a multi-layer architecture and it follows the MVC architecture, which stands for Model View Controller. Model basically contains custom objects and standard objects. View contains page layouts, screen flows, visual force page, lightning web component, and aura. Whereas controller contains standard and custom controllers. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what are different editions of Salesforce? And the answer is, the first one, Essential Edition. Then we have Professional Edition. Moving ahead, we have Enterprise Edition, then we have Unlimited Edition, and finally we have the Developers Edition. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, how many types of portals are available in Salesforce? And the answer is, the first one, Self-Service Portal. Then we have the Customer Portal. And finally, we have the Partner Portal. This forms the perfect answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is an object in Salesforce? Now this is also one of the most fundamental questions which can be asked by the interviewer. And the answer is that an object is represented as a database table which stores organization's data. Object consists of set of fields and we store data against the field. Common businesses objects like account, contact, lead, and opportunity are all standard objects. Custom objects are objects that you create to store information that's specific to your company or industry. That forms a perfect answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what are the different objects in Salesforce? And the answer is, the different objects in Salesforce are, the first one, we have the standard object. Second, we have the custom object. And finally, the third object is the external object. This is also one of the most important questions which can be asked. So keep a mark on this one. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what are standard and custom objects? The answer is that standard objects provided by Salesforce.com are called standard objects. Examples of standard objects are account, contacts, opportunities, leads, products, campaigns, cases, users, contracts, reports, and dashboards. Whereas the custom objects are the objects which are created by us, which are called the custom objects. Custom objects stores information that is unique and important to your organization. Custom objects provide a structure for sharing the data. I hope so you are clear with this answer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is profile? The answer is that a profile is a group of settings and permissions that define what a user can do in Salesforce. Types of user profiles in Salesforce are the standard profiles and the custom profiles. While a standard profile is a profile already provided by the Salesforce, whereas a custom profile can be created by the users based on their specific requirements. I hope so you got the answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is a role? The answer is that a role is a record level access in the Salesforce that defines the visibility access of a user. Roles determine what records a user can see relative to others in the organization's hierarchy. I hope so you got the answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what are organization-wide default settings? And the answer is, it defines the default access level for an object's records with organizations' wide sharing settings. Organizational wide defaults are used to restrict access. Custom objects and many standard objects have separate organizational wide sharing settings. Internal, external, and guest users can all have different levels of access. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is sharing rule? Guys, this is also one of the most important questions which can be asked in the interview. So, the answer to the same question is, sharing rules in Salesforce is the rule that must be followed in order to grant access to the information and data to various clients in a certain company or group of areas. Users can use sharing rules to share records based on conditions. It is primarily intended for objects with organization-wide default sets to public, read-only, or private, as sharing rules can only extend access rather than restrict it. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is manual sharing? And the answer is, in Salesforce, the manual sharing records are shared individually with other users by using the shared button on the record. Manual sharing gives other users access to certain type of records including accounts, contacts, and leads. For example, if you grant another user access to an account, the user automatically has access to all the opportunities and cases associated with that account. I hope so you are clear with this answer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is permission set? And the answer is, a permission set is a collection of settings and various tools and functions. Permission sets extend users' functional access without changing their profiles. Users can only have one profile, but they can have multiple permission sets depending on the Salesforce edition. Regardless of their profiles, you can assign permission sets to different types of users. I hope so you are clear with this answer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what are the different types of relationships in Salesforce? And the answer is, the first one, we have the master detail relationships. Moving ahead, we have the lookup relationships. Then we have the self relationships. Then we have the external lookup relationship. Moving ahead, we also have indirect lookup relationship. Then we look for many-to-many relationships. And finally, we have the hierarchical relationships. Guys, this is also one of the most important questions, so you can keep a mark on this one. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is a master detail relationship? And the answer is, master detail relationship is a strongly coupled relationship among Salesforce objects, which means that if a master records get deleted, then the child records associated with are also deleted. Data from these objects can be joined in one report using master detail relationships. The master object, the detail object, and the other lookup object. I hope so you are clear with it. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is, what is a lookup relationship? And the answer is, lookup relationship is a loosely coupled relationship among Salesforce objects, which means even if a parent records get deleted, the child records remain in the system. A lookup relationship links two objects so that you can look up one object from the related items on another. one-to-one or one-to-many lookup relationships are possible. Because a single account can have many related contacts, the account-to-contact relationship is one-to-many. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. So the next question we have is what is self-relationship? And the answer is that self-relationship is a lookup relationship to the same object. For example, we have a field on account which is parent account that allows us to choose any account for being a parent account of the existing one. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is what is roll-up summary? And the answer is roll-up summary is a read-only field which is used to calculate the count of child records, sum, minimum, maximum of a field on the child object, and the total number of all the records listed in a related list. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is what is a junction object? And the answer is in Salesforce you can create many-to-many relationships by establishing two master detail relationships on the same object. The object on which these two master detail relationships are created is known as the junction object. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is what is a flow? This is also a kind of intermediate question. So guys, the answer to the same question is flow is a tool for automating the complex business processes which is known as flow. Flow enables you to create complex business automation using clicks rather than the code. If you need to generate a new automated business process or use a guided experience that does not reach the complexity threshold for Apex code, then Flow is your go-to tool. I hope so you are clear with this answer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question we have is what is Process Builder? And the answer is that Salesforce Process Builder is basically an automated tool that allows you to control the order of actions or evaluate the criteria for a record. Process Builder supports three types of processes for your automation needs. The first one is we have a record change process which starts when a record is created or updated. Then we have an event process which starts when a platform event message is received. Finally, we have the invocable process which starts when something else like another process invokes it. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is what is workflow? And the answer is workflow is a Salesforce which is basically container or business logic engine which automates certain action based on particular criteria. With the exception of the first and last steps, each step in a workflow has specific step before it and a specific step after it. In a linear workflow, the first step is usually initiated by the external event. I hope so you got answer to this question. You can also keep a mark on this question which is most likely to be asked by an interviewer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. The next question is what is the maximum number of data records that can be shared? And the answer is a file can be shared a maximum of 2000 times. This count includes shares with records, people and groups. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. So now let's start with the next question. Our next question is how many fields can be created in one object? And the answer is that in an unlimited edition we can create up to 500 fields per object, and in the professional edition we can create up to 100 custom fields per object. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is how many workflows can be created in one object? And the answer is by default each object is limited to 50 workflows. I hope so you got answer to this question. This was pretty easy, and also you have to remember the numerical values involved in certain interview questions. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is what is mixed DML error? And the answer is that a mixed DML operation error comes when you try to perform the DML operations on setup and non-setup objects in a single transaction. To avoid this error, we should perform DML operation on standard or custom object records in different transactions. I hope so you are clear with this question. Our next question is, what is Schema Builder? And the answer is, Schema Builder is a tool that lets you visualize and edit your data model. Without having to move from page to page, the Schema Builder can retrieve all fields from object, perform basic impact analysis on changes to an object, and displays all dependencies on an object. I hope so you are clear with this. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Now let's discuss some of the scenario-based questions. The first question is that what kind of relationships does account and contact have? The answer to the same question is the type of relationship which can exist between account and contact is cascade delete. You can create a contact without an account. It shows up there as a lookup relationship. If you have created contact with an account and if you delete the account, the contact will be deleted, and this shows the master detail relationship. I hope so you are clear with this. Guys, this is also one of the most important questions, so please have a mark on this one. Now let's move forward and discuss the next scenario-based question. Our next question is, suppose if the interviewer asks you something like this, I wanted to delete 30,000 customer records but do not want anyone else to recover them. Then what can I do? This is also a very interesting question, and the answer to the same question is Salesforce makes it easy to bulk delete records permanently using the hard delete option. The difference between delete and hard delete is that the former sends the deleted records to the Salesforce recycle bin, where it remains for 15 days. The hard delete erases all the records permanently from the Salesforce system with no way to recover it. I hope so you are clear with this. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what are the kinds of reports? And the answer is, standard report is a first predefined report where the user chooses the parameter such as the time, actuality, and the company to make the report for, but the report's content is fixed. Custom report is a report that you design is known as a custom report. You specify how they should be shown and choose the dimension and metrics like sessions, page views, and bounce rate. I hope so you are clear with this answer. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what are the kinds of reports formats? And the answer to the same question is, the first one, we have the tabular report. Moving ahead, we have the summary report. The third one, we have the matrix report. And finally, we have the join report. This is also one of the most important questions, guys, so please have a mark on this one. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is bucket field? And the answer is that bucket field is a feature that allows you to rapidly categorize values for a field in a report without having to create a custom formula field at the object level. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is dashboard? And the answer is, a Salesforce dashboard is a quick way to view summary data from multiple reports at once. Dashboards allow you to select data from reports through the use of charts, tables, and metrics. I hope so you are clear with this. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what are the different components of dashboard? And the answer is, the first one, we have table. Then we have chart. Third, we have gauge. And fourth, we have metric. I hope so you are clear with this. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is lead? And the answer is, lead is a default object which is created when you receive new contact information in your database. Lead generation is a process that builds visibility, credibility, trust, and interest from a specific group of people. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. What is trigger? Guys, this is the most frequently asked question in the Salesforce admin interview. And the answer to the same question is, Trigger is a piece of code that is executed either before or after an update or addition to a record is made. Triggers enable you to carry out the following tasks. First, apply the business rules, validate the data that has been entered, create one kind of a value for a newly inserted row in a different file. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, how many Salesforce editions are published annually? Guys, this is also a very interesting question, and the answer to the same question is, first one, we have the summer, then winter, and third, spring. I hope so you are clear with this one. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is a record type? And the answer to the same question is, the record type is a data type that you use to treat several different pieces of data as one unit. Record types allow you to classify data in contacts, accounts, deals, and custom modules, allowing users of various roles to consume and update data in the CRM in different ways. I hope so you got answer to this question. Now let's move forward and discuss the next question. Our next question is, what is the validation rule? And the answer is, a validation rule is one way to restrict input in a table field or control, such as text box on a form. A validation rule can contain a formula or expression that evaluates the data in one or more fields and returns a value of true or false. I hope so you got answer to this question. Guys, this is also one of the most important questions, so please have a mark on this one. That was all for today's session, guys. Thank you for watching this video on Salesforce admin interview questions.
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides Salesforce online training mentored by industry experts. The course link is given in the description below. Now, let's continue with the session.